The police in cantonment here in Accra say they're mounting intensified and sustained clampdown on commercial sex workers in the area. Commercial sex workers, some of whom are from neighboring African countries, have invaded the area offering sex to residents and other bypassers in exchange for cash. Yesterday, 16 of them were arrested whilst trying to attract potential clients. They were put before court. Justice Baidu has been following the clampdown. He joins me in the studio with some more. Justice, you were there. Tell us how it felt being there, seeing this woman. Were they able to communicate with you? Did they tell you anything? Do they have reasons for their actions?
So we spent about 3 hours in court yesterday after the midnight swoop that led to their arrest, and out of the 16, 10 of them were Nigerians who claim have only been in Ghana for less than 6 months and have been engaged in the activity of sex trade, which is illegal in the country. So there were, apart from the 10 Nigerians, there were also 5 Ghanaians and then 1 Liberian. 14 of these people pleaded guilty in court and were convicted on their own plea and fined 300 cedis charge, in default of which they were going to go for a 3 month.
300 cedis?
300 cedis.
So did they get to pay that and walk?
Instantly, which is the interesting thing, that a lot of them were able to get out 300 cedis almost instantly. And really, that really ended it for many of them. But it is something that for the police, something that they intend going on, because it's...
But then, Justice, hold on for me. And we'll try and reach the police to find out exactly what their plan is and why they're into this at this time anyway. But if I can pay 300 cedis and go away, what's the guarantee that I won't come back on the street soliciting, sex for cash? Which
is one of the frustrations that the police expressed while following this case, that the legal system stipulates that for such offenses, and especially when they are first-time offenders, the maximum punishment that could be meted out to them is 21 punishment points, which in the legal parlance, and so that amounted to 300 Ghana cedis. The worst they could do, or I mean, if they wanted to take it a step further, would be to deport some of these non-Ghanaians. But what the interesting thing that happened in court yesterday was that none of the Nigerians wanted to be taken back to Nigeria. In fact, when the judge had asked them whether they wanted to be taken to their own embassy in Ghana, they said no, they would rather...
But is it about what they want or what the country wants? The country wants to take them away, to deport them. Yeah. Or do they have to be asked? I mean, does it have to be a negotiation?
I got the sense the judge didn't want to deport them against their will. I suspect it has issues to do with international refugee laws.
I believe ECOWAS agreements.
And so, yes, and so the judge did not want to necessarily deport them against their will. And so that could not be done. But I think the bigger issue, Gifty, is that this has been an activity that has been ongoing, especially around the cantonment, Osu airport area. There's increased number of people who are coming on the streets every day engaged in sex work, which you all know is illegal. And the police have been telling me that they've been getting a lot of complaints from men who say these ladies sometimes blackmail them of having had sex with them and not wanting to pay. There are some who have come in to say that, look, I was just driving, I saw this lady cross me, wanting me to help, and then when I got out of my car to help, she says I've had sex with her, and I'm refusing to pay. Wow. And so they are having all of these reports. In fact, there's been instances where people who have gone in as clients and have come to the police and say, I went in to have a good time with this lady, and I ended up getting robbed at the hotel. So they received a series of reports, and I think it is to follow through and then ensure that some of these things do not continue, that they are embarking on some of these
We understand you're putting together a documentary on this, Justice?
Yes. So one of the things we are doing is to track not just the illegal sex sex trade in Ghana, but then also to look at immigration generally in the West African sub-region, and then look at the ECOWAS free movement protocol, and look at how it affects countries in the sub-region. So, for example, you have a country like Nigeria that has almost 200 million people. You have a country like Ghana that has like 28 million people, and then we have an ECOWAS free movement protocol that says that anyone can move to another country visa-free for 3 months. A lot of people move in and out of the country undocumented. What does this mean for people in the country, security, trade, and all of the things that are concerned?
Those are some of the things that you should expect to see in that documentary. It will certainly be an interesting piece. Justice, thank you very much for your time and for the update.